It started with silence. Not the peaceful kind, the kind that wraps around you like a warm blanket. No, this was the kind of silence that screams, the kind that makes your ribs ache because you're holding your breath, waiting for something, anything, to move in the dark. I was walking home past midnight through the old stretch of Maple Ridge, the part of the city everyone seems to have forgotten. One by one, the streetlights had flickered out over the years, like candles snuffed out by ghosts. Rain had just stopped, but the air was still thick and damp, clinging to my jacket like it knew secrets I didn't. And that's when I heard it. A whimper. So faint, it was barely there, like someone trying to cry with their hand clamped over their mouth. I froze. My pulse jumped into my throat. For a second, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. Grief has a way of doing that. But then I heard it again. Closer this time. Raw. Desperate. I followed the sound like it was a prayer. Behind the collapsed chain-link fence of that abandoned auto shop, you know the one, with rusted cars stacked like bones in a graveyard, I saw him. A dog. Or what was left of one. His ribs were like piano keys under skin stretched way too thin. His fur was matted with grime and something darker. One of his ears was torn clean through. But his eyes, they were wide and terrified, but they weren't broken. Not yet. He didn't run. He didn't even flinch. He just stared at me, like I was the first real thing he'd seen in weeks. I crouched down, really slow. I didn't say a word. I just held out my hand like it was some kind of peace offering. I was so scared that if I moved too fast, he'd just vanish back into the shadows forever. Minutes passed. Maybe it was 10, maybe it was 20. Time doesn't really tick the same way when your heart is doing the counting. And then he limped forward. Just one step. Then another. His whole body was trembling like a leaf in a storm. When his nose finally brushed against my palm, I swear I felt it right here in my chest. A crack in something I thought was sealed shut for good. I named him River, because he flowed into my life right when I felt like I was drowning. You see, I'd just come out of a breakup that had completely hollowed me out. It felt like someone had just reached inside and scooped out everything that made me feel like me. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating real food. I was just drifting through my days like a ghost haunting my own apartment. But the night I brought River home, wrapped up in my jacket, shivering on the bathroom floor while I warmed towels in the dryer, something shifted. He didn't care that my heart was split in two. He didn't care that I cried in the shower so he wouldn't hear me. All he knew was that I was there, and that I stayed. That first week, he slept curled against my back like a shield, as if he was guarding me from whatever lived in the dark corners of my own mind. And you know what? Maybe he was. Because slowly, so slowly I almost missed it, I started waking up actually wanting to wake up. Not just to survive another day, but to live it. We started walking every morning, even when it poured rain. Even when my bones ached and my thoughts got loud and overwhelming, whenever I felt like stopping, he'd just press his head against my leg, as if to say, "Keep going. I'm right here." Then came the day at the vet. They found scars, old ones, burn marks, a broken tooth. It was all evidence of a life that had been built on fear. The vet tech whispered to me, "This dog's been through hell," and I just nodded, my throat tight, because I knew that look in his eyes. The way his body would tense up at sudden movements, the way he'd flinch at raised voices. He wasn't just a stray, he had been dumped, left behind like garbage because he wasn't perfect, because he was too much work, too broken. But here's the thing they got so wrong. He wasn't broken. He was just waiting for someone to see the fight that was still left in him, the love that was buried under all that hurt. And my God, that love, it came roaring out. He learned to chase tennis balls like he'd never known hunger. He barked at squirrels like he'd always owned the sidewalk. He slept in sunbeams like he was born to them. And every single night, without fail, he'd rest his chin on the edge of the couch and look up at me like I had personally hung the moon in the sky for him. People always say that pets save you. And yeah, maybe they do. But it's so much more than that. It's not just about saving. It's about remembering. Remembering how to trust again. Remembering how to be gentle with yourself. Remembering how to come back to yourself when it feels like the world is trying to grind you into dust. River didn't just find me that night in Maple Ridge, he brought me home. And if you're out there right now, feeling lost, like no one would even notice if you disappeared, I really need you to hear this. There is someone who will notice. Maybe it's a dog trembling in the rain, waiting for you. Maybe it's a friend who texts you at 3 a.m. just to say, "Hey, you good?" Or maybe it's that part of you that's still fighting, even when you can't feel it. Please, hold on, because love doesn't always come with a perfect pedigree or a shiny, clean past. Sometimes it shows up muddy, scared, and half-starved, limping toward you in the dark, just hoping you'll stay long enough to see it. And when you do, that's when the real healing begins. Thank you so much for listening to our story. If it resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more. It means the world to us. We'll see you in the next one.